Once Seneca said, "Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it." Anger, a potent and intense emotion, has the potential to cloud our logical thinking, causing us to react spontaneously, often leading to regretful aftermaths. It's a universal human phenomenon, yet it's something we grapple to comprehend and regulate. We live in a society where anger appears to be the norm. From instances of road rage to fiery debates on social media platforms, these outbursts of fury can lead to destructive consequences, straining relationships, and even escalating into physical aggression. However, the power of anger isn't solely damaging. It can act as a driving force for transformation, signaling that an issue needs addressing. But to wield this power, we need to learn about it, control it. And to do so, we delve into the knowledge of the yesteryears. As once Seneca said, "Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it." Therefore, it becomes imperative to understand and manage this strong emotion. This brings us to the philosophy of Stoicism and its influential thinker, Seneca. Seneca, also known as Lucius Annaeus Seneca, was a prominent Stoic philosopher, statesman, and dramatist of the Silver Age of Latin literature. Born in Cordoba, Spain in the year 4 BC, Seneca was raised in Rome, where he was inducted into the philosophical school of Stoicism. Stoicism, a philosophy that emphasizes virtue, wisdom, and emotional resilience, became the cornerstone of Seneca's thoughts and teachings. His early life was marked by health problems, but this did not deter him from pursuing a life of knowledge and wisdom. He was tutored by Attalus and Sotion, famous Stoic and Pythagorean philosophers respectively, who had a significant influence on his philosophical views. Seneca's political career began under Emperor Augustus, but it was during the reign of Emperor Claudius that his political influence peaked. He served as an advisor to the emperor, but his life in the political arena was anything but smooth. He was accused of adultery with Julia Livilla, sister of Caligula, and was subsequently exiled to Corsica in the year 41 AD. However, his exile did not dim his spirit. In isolation, Seneca composed some of his most poignant works displaying an unwavering commitment to Stoic philosophy. His exile ended 8 years later when Agrippina, the mother of Nero, recalled him to tutor her son, the future emperor. But his association with Nero eventually led to his downfall. In the year 65 AD he was accused of conspiracy against Nero. Though innocent, Seneca was forced to commit suicide, a tragic end to a life dedicated to wisdom and virtue. His life, marked by political intrigue, exile, and tragic death, greatly influenced his philosophical views. His experiences brought him face to face with the harsh realities of life, which he used to develop his ideas on anger, tranquility, and virtue. Despite his tragic end, Seneca left behind a wealth of wisdom, particularly on the subject of anger. His teachings continue to inspire and guide millions around the world, encouraging us to live a life of virtue and emotional resilience. Seneca believed that anger is a destructive force and saw it as the most destructive of all passions. Indeed, for the Roman Stoic philosopher, anger was not just a fleeting emotion, but a tempest that could wreak havoc on one's tranquility and rationality. Seneca's teachings on anger are both profound and practical, providing us a guiding light to navigate this stormy sea of emotion. Central to his philosophy is the idea that anger arises from unrealistic expectations. We become angry, he suggested, when the world doesn't conform to our desires, when people don't act the way we think they should, or when events don't unfold as we anticipated. It is like expecting the ocean to never produce waves, or the weather to always be sunny. Such expectations are not only unrealistic but also self-defeating. So, how can we avoid the pitfalls of anger? Seneca advises us to adjust our expectations. We should accept the world as it is, not as we wish it to be. We should anticipate the possibility of setbacks and frustrations, understanding that they are part of the natural order of things. By doing this, we can effectively shield ourselves from the fiery darts of anger. But there's more to Seneca's teachings on anger than just managing expectations. He argued that anger is fundamentally unnatural. Unlike joy or fear, which arise spontaneously in response to our surroundings, anger is a response that we choose. It is a decision to let our peace be disturbed, our tranquility shattered. This perspective places the power back in our hands. We are not helpless victims of our anger, we are its masters. Seneca, therefore, encourages us to cultivate the Stoic virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance as antidotes to anger. By seeking wisdom, we learn to see the world as it is, not as we wish it to be. By showing courage, we face life's challenges head-on, without resorting to anger. By upholding justice, we treat others fairly, reducing the likelihood of conflict and resentment. And by practicing temperance, we control our impulses, keeping anger at bay. In essence, Seneca's teachings on anger are a call to self-mastery. They urge us to rise above the turbulent seas of emotion and stand firm on the solid ground of reason and virtue. They remind us that while we cannot control the world around us, we can control how we respond to it. It's worth noting that Seneca was no stranger to anger himself. He was a human after all. But he strived to manage his anger, to understand it, and to keep it from ruling his life. His teachings are not a prescription for an emotionless existence, but a roadmap to a more peaceful, more fulfilling life. Seneca's teachings on anger can help us understand and manage this powerful emotion, leading to a more peaceful and fulfilling life. By internalizing his wisdom, we can not only navigate the storms of anger, but also chart a course towards a richer, more harmonious existence. So how can we apply Seneca's teachings on anger in our lives today? Well, the first step is to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is about paying attention to our thoughts, feelings, and sensations without judgment. It's about being present in the moment, no matter what's happening around us. When we're mindful, we can notice when anger starts to bubble up. And instead of reacting impulsively, we can choose a more thoughtful and measured response. Next, we can adjust our expectations. Seneca taught us that much of our anger stems from unmet expectations. We get angry when things don't go the way we planned, when people don't behave the way we want them to, when the world doesn't conform to our ideals. But the truth is, we don't control the world or other people, we only control our own actions and reactions. By adjusting our expectations to align with this reality, we can reduce the potential for anger. Finally, we can cultivate Stoic virtues like patience and understanding. Patience is about enduring discomfort without complaint, and understanding is about seeing things from other people's perspectives. These virtues can help us manage our anger by reducing our tendency to take things personally and encouraging us to respond to challenging situations with grace and equanimity. These practices aren't just about managing anger though, they're about leading a more peaceful and fulfilling life. When we're not consumed by anger, we're free to focus on the things that truly matter. We can cultivate meaningful relationships, pursue our passions, and make a positive impact on the world. In the end, it's not about eliminating anger entirely. Anger is a normal and natural human emotion. But by applying Seneca's teachings, we can learn to manage our anger, to understand it, to express it in healthy and constructive ways. We can transform our anger from a destructive force into a force for good. By embracing Seneca's teachings, we can learn to manage our anger and transform it into a force for good. Seneca's teachings on anger offer timeless wisdom that can help us navigate the challenges of life. As we draw this discussion to a close, it's essential to take a moment to reflect on the key points we've explored about Seneca's teachings on anger. Seneca, the great Stoic philosopher, understood the destructive potential of anger. He recognized it as a turbulent force that overwhelms reason, leading us away from wisdom and towards regrettable actions. He advised us to step back, to allow our initial passionate reactions to simmer down, giving way to reason and wisdom. He encouraged us to consider the impermanence of life, to remember that our time is precious, and to not waste it on negative emotions like anger. Seneca's teachings also remind us that anger is often rooted in our expectations. When we expect a certain outcome, and reality does not align with these expectations, anger can arise. But Seneca tells us that we can control our reactions, even if we can't control the events that happen to us. He urges us to adjust our expectations, to accept life as it unfolds, and to respond with calm and clarity instead of anger. These insights from over 2,000 years ago still hold profound relevance today. They offer a practical guide to managing our anger, to reacting with wisdom instead of passion, and to living a life of tranquility and fulfillment. The timeless wisdom of Seneca teaches us that anger is not a necessary part of the human experience, but something we can overcome through understanding and practice. Seneca's teachings on anger are not just philosophical musings, but practical tools we can apply in our everyday lives. They provide us with a roadmap to navigate the often turbulent waters of our emotions, allowing us to live more peacefully, more wisely, and more fully. Remember, understanding and managing anger is a journey, not a destination. But with the wisdom of Seneca and Stoicism, we can make this journey a little easier. Before we wrap up, let's take a moment to dive deeper into one of Seneca's most powerful quotes on anger. Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it. This profound statement encapsulates the essence of Seneca's teachings on anger. It reminds us that the unchecked expression of anger often causes more harm to us than the initial offense. The resentment, the bitterness, the destructive actions that anger can spur, can inflict wounds far deeper and more lasting than the event that triggered our anger. It's a timeless reminder that our reaction to an event has the potential to cause us more harm than the event itself. This idea aligns closely with Seneca's teachings that we explored earlier. It reinforces the idea that we have control over our reactions, even when we can't control the events that happen to us. It urges us to restrain our anger, to allow our initial reactions to cool down, and to respond with reason and wisdom. As we conclude, let's keep this powerful quote in mind, as a reminder of the importance of managing our anger and responding to life's challenges with wisdom and tranquility. Remember, anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it. This quote encapsulates Seneca's wisdom on anger and serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of managing this potent emotion. As we navigate through life, let's strive to embody Seneca's teachings, to react with wisdom instead of passion, and to live a life of tranquility and fulfillment. Thank you for being with us. Until next time, stay positive, stay stoic,